restaurant. How's the food, by the way? The food and the drinks, everything good? All right. Now we got a ton of people here.
Where's the bell?
We got a ton of people here, a bunch of rock and rollers. We have a lot of gubernatorial candidates here. So there's a lot of public officials, a lot of people here to announce, so let's get started, okay? So in the beginning, as always, let's get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody get started? Here we go. Please rise. And let's commence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, everybody. Wouldn't it be awesome if everything started with the Pledge of Allegiance? USA! Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon! Yeah, it's okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a special treat for you. We have Mrs. Raquel Mitchell singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs burst gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was Raquel Mitchell. Now, as in every conservative Republican event, we have a prayer. And tonight, leading the prayer for the festivities is Father Tom Loya of Annunciation Church in Homer Glen. Give it up, please, for Father Tom Loya.
Thank you, Steve, for the invitation. It's always good to be at one of your events. Seems like a man's man, you know? There aren't too many of those left, you know? I was giving a talk one time to a big group of married couples, big conference. And I asked the men, any of the men still men of the house? Nobody stood up. I said, come on, ask them again. Are you men of the house? Finally, a guy in the back of the room, way in the back room, this big guy, big, burly, huge guy, big beard, I think he was Russian. I said, oh, so you're the man of the house? He said, no, wife told me to stand up. Yeah, we're getting a lot of praying, so I want to do a little bit of praying here. I'm glad you have these events with prayer, because this thing about separating church and state, that's a myth. See, the church informs politics. We offer the blueprint of how to run government. Otherwise, what do you base it on? Ideology like we have now? Or God's order that's solid? So we inform politics, and in turn, politics helps the church. We're absolutely wedded together. So I got a lot of skin in this game. So I'm glad to be here. I'm going to pray that things go right, especially for Steve.
Amen.
Let's pray. Oh, Master, Lord, and God, it is proper to praise you, to thank you, to worship in every place of your dominion. You brought us out of non-existence into being, left nothing undone until you brought us to heaven and gave us your kingdom to come. You taught us to pray, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Oh Lord, bless now our good intentions according to your good will, and bless our governments and all in the service of our country. Let them govern in peace, and Lord, help them to make your kingdom on earth, so that in their tranquility we may lead a calm and quiet life and piety and holiness. Bless all who are gathered here, especially your servant Stephen. Forgive all their transgressions. Grant us all the spirit of vigilance, fortitude, faith, and love. And grant us all the peaceful, long life and salvation to come. For your holy our God, we give your glory to you, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, now and ever and forever. Amen.
Thanks, Father. Every time Father Loya leaves the stage, I just feel like everything's going to be all right. And Father, thanks for being there for us. We appreciate you, and we love the fact that you are home tonight. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make an announcement. I am a Hispanic Republican, believe it or not. You know what? In the beginning, before I met Steve, I was all about my business. As you guys all know, I own the Big Ave. And the only thing on my mind was my business. Steve would come around, and he'd be like, we want to do a fundraiser. I barely have enough money for my budget. I can't. It's a brand new business. And I didn't realize how important politics was in our everyday life. So then after a while, you see things that go on, you see prices go up, taxes go up, and then you start complaining, and all of a sudden politics is important. Because guess what? Politics is what makes policy. So then all of a sudden when your bottom line starts getting hit, you start realizing, oh, you know what? Maybe politics is important. And there's nobody on this world other than a small business owner that gets hit first and realizes it first. Right now, where are we at? Shipping's gone up, prices have gone up, inflation has gone up, and a lot of business owners don't see that in the beginning, but they see it towards the end, because everybody says, I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to get involved in politics. And I get it all the time. It's not a wise choice for you to involve your business in politics. Now, I say, bullshit. Absolutely, I'm going to involve my business in politics. And guess what? If you don't like it, too bad. So, wholeheartedly, the reason, number one, I am 100% Republican. 100% first and foremost. I want to make that clear. And anybody else that comes to me, I've had family. I have family involved in politics. And, you know, they're on the Democratic side. And one of the things I ask most, and that's why I'm not the most popular guy at the family parties, I say, okay, well, and I never bring it up, by the way. They bring it up to me. I kind of stay away from it. So they go, hey, wait a minute. How dare you call yourself a Hispanic American and be a Republican? Yeah, I get that. And I eat a little crud. That's okay. You know why? Because deep down inside, I know why that reasoning is. So then I throw it back on them. I go, well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe in family? Yes. Do you believe in getting something for nothing? No. Okay. So pretty much where we at? You're a Republican. You believe in independence. You believe that you are the master of your destiny. You believe that if something's wrong, it starts here, not there. Because it works from here out, not the other way around. So ladies and gentlemen, for anybody that comes towards that quagmire, and I know there's a lot of our young, everybody here obviously is here for the cause. But our kids, the kids are going against that popular culture that tell you the opposite. They tell you don't have to work to get something that's due to you. The kids are looking at that pop culture that say everything the contrary that we believe in. So it's really hard for them. And I really, really, really wish that it was different, but it's not. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. So, in that struggle of notifying people, of showing people the way, I'm not the only one, obviously. There are people here that have gone through that in the past and have crossed to the other side. To have crossed to the light side, which is the conservative side. And I would like to announce one of those persons that led the way, that was so far deep into the Democratic Party that they saw those horrible ways that they came to this side, and now they're one of us. And ladies and gentlemen, that gentleman is Victor Santana. Victor, please come up. A fellow Latino who deserves recognition and knows that for what you got to work for, because nobody's going to give it to you, and if somebody's got to give it to you, something's wrong. Victor?
Hello, everyone. I want everyone to know that we're here for Steve. And if you don't know his nickname, we call him Momo. He is a very dynamic and unbelievably interesting individual. As most of you know, he's very outspoken. He says what he means, and what he means, he says. I was just talking to a gentleman from Joliet Township outside, and he told me this wonderful story about how Steve asked everybody at the county board to stand up for life. Well, the Republicans got up at first. When he asked the question the second time, a lot of the Republicans left. That's what we're missing. We're missing that concept of what Ruben's talking about, what we're supposed to be doing. And I want everyone here to know, if you are a candidate running for dog catcher, governor, or king of Siam, there's three people that you have to deal with. Steve Balich, our friend Mona, Devin Jones, and Rambo. Rambo we call Ron Wilson. He's out from Ramsey, Illinois. But let me tell you, those three guys, when I see them walking through wherever they're at, people pay attention. And we've discussed that. I am flabbergasted because I wasn't expecting that. Ruben said a lot of great things. But I want to say it's really important that those three guys know, because what Steve is doing, what Devin's doing, what Ron Wilson, who we call Rambo, what he's doing, it's amazing. And we are getting people together that you never would see get together. As I told the gentleman outside, a lot of Republican women are pro-choice. And getting everybody to work together is part of that magic. And you know what? Those three individuals, they're making them work together. It is great. It's wonderful. I have to say this, when we talk about doing events like this, look around you. For those of you that, and there are a few of you guys in the room that are former Democrats, 18 precincts, over 500 people in an organization here in Homer Township. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Mike Madigan doesn't have that. But I want you all to know that those three guys have found the secret to success. And as you might be seeing here on the screens, fix where we live, and that is first and foremost. Because if we fix it here, we could fix it anywhere. And it takes all of us to work in our communities. I'm working with Devin in the city. I love helping Rambo down in central and southern Illinois. And of course, Momo here in Homer Township. I want you to know, we're looking at getting all these townships here in Will County together. Steve's the only individual that had the foresight to think, we gotta have a campaign office. Because you know what? We don't have any other ones there in Will County. Devin, we're looking for office space. We're doing all this stuff. Rambo got a mayor elected in Ramsey, Illinois, against the incumbent. And I swear, I think he and his wife Judy did it single-handedly to get that girl elected. A young woman never in politics before. And when you talk to these individuals, you'll find out the people that they have. When I tell you, the women that are out there, the men that are out there, we need them. We need them to be out there. Devin and I were just recently at a meeting in Bourbon Street over in Marinette Park for the Republican city, or the city Republicans, and guess what? 102 people showed up. It was amazing. Nobody ever saw that before. But the best part about it was supposed to be for committeemen. Only 12 of them showed up. There's 50 wards in the city of Chicago, and they have 30 committeemen. Only 12 showed up. There were 80 people there that had never been involved. So look around. This is what Momo does. And I am happy to be his friend for all these years. As Ruben said, yes, I'm a recovering Democrat. Momo's my sponsor. I sit with him every Sunday to go through my 12 steps. And for all of you that know him, that ain't easy. Those 12 steps, he makes you work. And I love the fact that I do it. Because we have been doing a lot of great things together for quite a few years. Seen all the battles. We've always won. And that's why I love it that Devin and Rambo are part of our group. Because he drove 3.5 hours to get up here. Rambo and his wife. This is the dedication that we have for each other. And when I tell you, you get those three guys who say yes, you'll win anything. I know that because we've already started doing some of that. Momo has cleaned out Homer Township, taken over the board, have gotten all these different positions throughout the township. And I believe it's 18 out of 21 this last election. That's unheard of, guys. I only know one other township. And I have friends that are here from Schaumburg Township. I remember when we did that years ago. But it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of planning. Thank you for coming, because this is the kind of thing that we feed off of, and we say, you know what, we're doing something right. And I hope all of you talk to Steve, because we're going to have a lot of stickers. It's got an American flag on it, and says, fix where we live. That's going to be the most important slogan for this upcoming election, 23 and 24. So when we take out the school districts and control them, when we take over the municipalities, the townships, everywhere we go, everywhere we walk, everywhere we live, it's going to be important. Fix where we live. And Steve came up with that. That's how he won Homer Township. That's how we're going to win the state. That's how we're going to win the House and the Senate in our state. and then get these congressional seats. I want to say thank you for coming. Steve is a dear friend of mine. I love him to death. And I believe most of you do too. Some of the stories I've heard today, it's an adoration. Because Steve is a one-of-a-kind of guy. Momo, thank you for everything you've done. Can we hear an applause for Momo? Thank you.
Yay, Steve!
Wow, Steve, at the end of the night, your head's gonna be this big, buddy. You deserve every single bit of it. You know you do. We wouldn't be here without you, buddy. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure of announcing Will County Commissioner Annette Parker. Annette Parker, please come up. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. Yeah, come on. Annette's also Chamber President of the Lockport Chamber.
Yes, I am.
All right, come on.
All right, everybody. So I've known Steve for a very long time, and I've been on the Will County Board with him for 8 years. And we all know Steve. We all know he's not always politically correct. Heck, we also know he's not always correct all the time, but that's okay. That's why we love him. That's what makes him a good county board member. He's a conversation starter. He makes people think. He makes people get involved, just like he said. So, as our president's numbers are declining, his popularity numbers are declining, Steve's numbers are increasing. And we know that by evidence, by this turnout here, by this wonderful fundraiser, everybody comes out to support Steve. Everybody loves Steve. So the next couple of months, when the elections are coming up, instead of everyone chanting, "Let's go Brandon," we'll be chanting, "Let's go Balich."
Thank you, Annette. So next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have another Will County board member, Frankie Pretzel. Is he here today? Frankie Pretzel? I don't think I saw him. No? All right, we'll catch him on the next one. Debbie Krolitis tonight. Will County board member. Also in the fight with Steve Balich and the rest of us.
Thank you. My story of Steve, I met Steve 11, 12 years ago, my husband and I, when we jumped into, joined the cause and we started the Tea Party Alliance out in Will County. So we've been battling for, I guess, almost 12 years together. Raquel, Dawn, actually there's a lot of folks in the room, I shouldn't even start that we all started with together. But we don't call him Momo, we call him Maron. All right, so for the old folks, we call him Maron. So Steve has been great. I've been involved in the conservative cause for a long time, but when we started doing the Tea Party and we started doing a lot of rallies and educating folks, we then started to tell people, we're not your entertainment. We need you to get involved and run. So we started helping candidates and we started running. Gretchen's here too, Gretchen Fritz. So we all started running and I said to Steve, I don't want to run because I don't like politics. They're asking me to run for township. And he said, Deb, run for township. You'll love township because you like helping people. So I ran for township in Plainfield. I was there for 2 terms, and then after that they asked me to run for Will County Board, and I said to Steve, I don't want to run for Will County Board because I don't like politics. And he said, you'll love Will County Board because you love helping people. So I ran for County Board, and I've been there almost a year. The first month for me was very interesting. They tried to cancel the heck out of me. So thank you to everybody from our county board that stood up for me, that I had the freedom to support President Trump, and they really came after me with petitions and all kinds of stuff, trying to get me out. but Judy Ogala too, wherever you are, you do not mess with Judy Ogala on the county board. That mama, she just took them to pieces for me, and I appreciated that too, and everybody that's here from Will County Board. It's been a pleasure, Steve, thanks. I owe my political career to you. So Steve asked me to sing a song, so I'm going to sing a song for everyone. This is called See, Hear, Pray. I wrote this about a few years ago, just did a new remix on it. It's all about seeing what's happening in our country, hearing about what's happening in our country, and praying for our country. For your service. How about the firefighters?
say. We're very, very skeptical of who we put in that governor's seat as good Republicans. Yes or no? Absolutely. This is a no rhino zone, right? Because we got a few of those and we got to kick their asses out of town. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first candidate that we have coming up to speak to us today, who's come from a long, long way, is candidate Shrimp. Please make it up to the front. Candidate Shrimp. There he's coming. Everybody give him a warm applause. Overland welcome.
Well, thank you for that introduction, and thank you so much, all of you, for being here to support one of the great Republicans, a great Illinoisan, and great American, Steve Balich. Let's give him another round of applause. Can't do that too often. So my name is Paul Schimpf. I'm running for Illinois governor because our state needs common sense conservative leadership that we can trust. Now, at the beginning of my speeches, I always, if I remember, I try to thank my wife, Lori, because even though Lori is not here tonight, Lori is the rock of our family. I would not have any success in my life without her support and love. She's the one that's holding the family together. And a lot of times people will say, hey, Paul, thank you for running for governor. My response to that is, you don't need to be thanking me, you should be thanking my wife. So thank my wife, and if you can, if you have a moment, say a prayer not only for my wife, but for all the candidate spouses, because it is harder on the spouses than it is on the candidates. I do also want to introduce one other lady that is here with me tonight. She's not really going to be able to wave too much because she's videotaping my speech, but Hillary Kurzawa is one of my township directors, so give it up for Hillary. And I also want to ask you to keep my fellow governor candidates in your prayers as well. You know what? There are other guys running for governor besides me, and believe it or not, that is a good thing. It is a good thing that we have multiple Republicans running for governor because that sends a very important message to the people of Illinois, and that is a lot of people believe that J.B. Pritzker is beatable and not deserving of re-election. So please support all of the Republican candidates. You know, because in a way this is kind of like a high school basketball tryout. You know, right now we're doing a tryout to see who's got the best skill set to be the starting point guard. But at the end of that tryout, at the end of the Republican primary, we all have to come together and we have to be on the same team. Because this election is more important than any one candidate or any one campaign. J.B. Pritzker cannot be allowed to have a second term and continue pushing our state closer to the abyss. So I am not going to earn your vote by attacking my fellow Republicans. I'm going to tell you why you should look at supporting me. And I'm going to give you two reasons for that tonight. The first reason that you should consider supporting me is of all the Republicans that are running for governor, I'm the one, well, there are a couple of us that have a voting record, but I have been a state senator. I was a state senator for 4 years. So you know exactly where I stand on the issues. You don't have to guess. 8 years ago, when I was running for Illinois Attorney General, I had gotten out of the Marine Corps as a lieutenant colonel. I came back, I ran for Illinois Attorney General. There was another candidate running statewide with me. Let's call him Candidate Bruce. I was in the room when Candidate Bruce told everybody that he was pro-life and opposed to illegal immigration. However, once Candidate Bruce became Governor Runner, what happened? He He signed HB 40 that made taxpayer funding of abortion, and he signed Senate Bill 31, which prohibited our law enforcement from cooperating with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So my point is not to bash Bruce Rauner. I tried my darndest to get him reelected. My point is, unless you have a voting record, you don't know where people stand. Talk is cheap. If you want to know where somebody stands, look at their voting record. The second reason that I would ask you to consider supporting me is I'm the one candidate running who has won a Tier 1 election against a Democrat. I got out of the Marine Corps, came back home, ran for Illinois Attorney General, lost, but then I ran for the Illinois State Senate in 2016, and I got elected. The Democrats thought that they were going to pick that seat up. They had Sheila Simon, the former lieutenant governor, run against me, and we got outspent by almost $400,000. But we won that race by nearly 22 points. And it was because we talked about the issues that unite us. So what are the issues that unite us in Illinois? The first issue that I think unites us and allows us to get the crossover votes we need to win is the idea that it is parents, not the government, that should determine their kids' education, health care, and maturity into adulthood. That's something I've been talking about since I was a state senator, and back in June, we put forth an Illinois Parents' Bill of Rights proposal. So that issue that it's parents that should have power, that's going to be one of the issues that wins the general election for us in 2022. Another issue that unites us and flips Democrats is the idea that our law enforcement community represent what is best about Illinois and America. If people say, oh, there are no heroes anymore, well, you don't have to look very hard for heroes. Our law enforcement professionals put their lives on the line for us every single day. That's another issue that unifies us. And the last issue that I'm going to talk about that brings all of Illinois together is the idea that we want to be able to trust our government. You know, folks, J.B. Pritzker simply does not have the moral authority to lead our state. I was on active duty in the military for 24 years. I know a thing about leadership, and it's not that tough. To lead is to serve. You tell the truth, and you follow the rules that you set for everybody else. J.B. Pritzker told us that we needed to stay at home. What did he do? He traveled to Wisconsin. He told us to avoid crowds, and he was out shoulder to shoulder. And J.B. Pritzker said that our veterans at the LaSalle Veterans Home were being given the best care possible. He said that one day before we lost 7 veterans on Veterans Day alone. Folks, every promise from J.B. Pritzker has an expiration date. He does not have the ability to unify our state and lead us. So we are going to make a change in about a year and a half. J.B. Pritzker is going to be a one-term governor. He may have the money, but we have something more important. We have the motivation, the message, and the truth. And the truth is this: Illinois is a phenomenal state that is being held back by its dysfunctional government. Once the people of Illinois realize that they can do better than the Democrats, they are going to give us an opportunity. We are going to turn Illinois red in 22, and we are going to take the lead. Illinois is going to take the lead in making sure that Joe Biden is a one-term president in 2024. So thank you all for supporting Steve tonight and giving me a few minutes. God bless you all. God bless the state of Illinois, and let's win it.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple of tables that we don't want you to forget or pass up. Very important tables. Number 1, walking in, as soon as you walk in, we have a few fabulous ladies selling these t-shirts. Now, this is what I say about a lot of Republican and Cook County constituents. Your first mistake was thinking we are one of the sheep. And absolutely we are not, and tonight proves it. We know what they're up to, and we're not going to let them get away with it. And thanks to people like Steve Balich, they are not going to get away with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker for today, Republican gubernatorial candidate, Mr. Jesse Sullivan. Please come up, sir. Come on, guys, give it up to him. What county style?
Hey everybody. Hey Steve, thank you so much for having this and bringing us all together. First question for everybody here. Why are you here tonight? Steve. And I think about this slogan, fix where we live. When I really think about why I'm running for governor, I think I share in common with a lot of you two beliefs. One, I love our home. We live in one of the best states in the entire nation. What should be the backbone, the moral backbone of the entire United States, with our conservative values. Instead, what we have is the worst run state in America. It's ridiculous, it's terrible. I'm as angry as all of you that we have this group of politicians that have taken our great state of Illinois and are driving people out of it. Did you know Illinois, no other state in the entire nation has lost more people, other than West Virginia, over the last decade than the state of Illinois. Indiana grew 1,700% more than Illinois over the last decade. Does everyone think Indiana is a better state than Illinois? No. We all know that it's the politics, the politicians. If we had real leadership in the state of Illinois that could turn this state around, there really is no stop to where we could go. And in central Illinois, where I grew up, I learned 3 core values in my life: faith, family, and service. The faith side has always shaped who I am. My relationship with God is the #1 most important thing in my life. I really do think if we could do one thing as a state to improve it, it would be to deepen our relationship with God. Second is family. My wife, I just want to call out in the back here, is with my young kids. So my wife Monique is here with our 4 kids. Yeah, thank you so much. With our 5th child on the way, and we also have 2 foster children. And yeah, thank you. And family is such a beautiful thing, and it's really what draws so many of us to stay here in Illinois despite our terrible politics. But you know, family, I really do believe this, that if, in addition to our relationship with God, I think if we would prioritize the role of fatherhood and of motherhood, again in our society, that would solve so many of the problems that we have here in Illinois. Yeah, thank you. The last one, for me, of core values I learned is service. So I got to do counterinsurgency work with the Department of Army Civilian on the intelligence side over in Afghanistan. Yeah, thank you. Hey, we got to serve together down in Helmand Province. So thank you so much for your service. And it was on that service that I know everyone's seen what's happening in Afghanistan right now. And it's absolute tragedy. The mismanagement of it, it makes me sick to my stomach, but it makes you realize that politics matter. When we have a lack of leadership in our country, it brings us all down. And I think, like, why step into this and try to run for governor of Illinois? I'm not a politician. I've never been in politics before. I was actually running a business to try to create jobs around the world because I was in Helmand, Afghanistan. I was in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. My faith drove me to try to serve people in need and poverty. But I realized in doing that work, giving handouts was not the answer. I actually thought one time, oh, maybe the Democrats, they care a lot about people in poverty. They signaled that they did. But as I lived that out, I saw these handouts aren't working. What actually works are creating jobs, providing opportunity, That's the way to lift people up out of poverty. And so I was doing all this work around the world in some of the most dangerous, corrupt places of people living in poverty, and I thought, our own home is broken, it's on fire. And our politicians have done three things. Illinois is now known for our high taxes, our corruption, and our crime. The high taxes, that's J.B. Pritzker's solution to everything. Is he thinks, hey, we're on this downward spiral, I know. He created 24 new tax hikes and fees. $5 billion additionally he's raised from the people of Illinois, taking it out of their pockets and into government. Does anyone here trust our government? No. Does anybody think that J.B. Pritzker is doing a good job, or any of our politicians are going to do a good job with those dollars we're sending them? No. I definitely don't believe that. So for me, my solution is we actually need to lower taxes. We have to take on the big elephant in the room, which is these unfunded pension liabilities that sit there and take up so much of our budget, and they crowd out spending and everything else. And J.B. Pritzker won't take it on. So we need to take that issue head on, and I want to move towards a zero income tax state. So I think that should be our North Star. Because we have a mobile economy, we need to create the jobs of the future right here in Illinois, and if we're going to compete, we got to bring our income taxes down to zero. The next thing on corruption, it's so sad to me to see that Illinois is known as one of the most corrupt states in the entire nation, but we're the land of Lincoln. I grew up where Abraham Lincoln was raised, and right now we're looking more like the capital of Capone, not the land of Lincoln. It's all about corruption and chaos and crime. Let's talk about that last one of crime. 800 people have been killed over the last year in Chicago. 800 people. And I know that those are stats, but behind all of those stats are real people's lives. Real people that are dying. And I've gotten to meet some of these parents of these little kids, like MJ Moultrie. My little boy Bo over here. He loves cars. And this little boy MJ, two bullets through the wall into his head. And I was talking to his mom, and she was devastated. But she really couldn't even grieve because she had to try to get justice for her son. And I told her, I want to work with you. We have to, number one job of government should make sure that a city is safe. Our politicians are just leaving us behind. So I want to step up with MJ's mom, Angela, and the other victims of this senseless crime and actually do something about it. We have to support our police. We have to be strong on crime. We have to be strong on moral leadership. So rumors go around in politics, and maybe some have heard about me with my background, and people saying that I'm a Democrat, people saying that I'm, all of these things and lies. Well, I can tell you firsthand, I am a conservative outsider that actually poses a threat to this unjust, crazy system that we have set up in Illinois. This whole corrupt system. That's why people tell these lies. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-Second Amendment. I want to lower our taxes. I want to get rid of crime by supporting our police. I want to get rid of all these corrupt politicians in Springfield. That's what I want to do, and I want to fight with all of you guys to take it on. So together, let's fight to make Illinois strong. Thank you.
All right, I don't think I have to mention that in this day and age, right now, this moment, it's basically the socialists against the patriots. And that's where we're at. So who's going to win? The patriots. The people that work every day, the blue-blooded Americans that know that there's no way that we're going to let these people take over. So the next governor that we have to elect has to have that same mission. And we're going to get them there. So next up, Governor candidate, Mr. Gary Raquel. Please come up to the stage. Everybody give him a warm applause. Come on, Will County applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben. Victor? Is he still there? Victor. What people don't know about Victor, he's got a heart of gold. In the last few months of my wife's life, he found out through a mutual friend about my wife's brain cancer. Had some people he knew that knew something about it. Victor, look at me when I'm talking about you. Victor, look at me when I'm talking about you. Victor drove 2.5 hours away from my house 5-6 times to bring me vitamins and all kinds of great stuff. Brought me a doctor that knew a little bit about how to treat brain cancer in its late stages. And I'll never forget it. Thank you for that, Victor. That's an amazing character of a person. But that same character, he is a character, brought me to this guy right here, Steve. And that was awesome because in meeting Steve, I found another great character. A guy with passion for our country, passion for working his butt off to make a difference. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you having me here. Thanks for that. Okay, so Ruben talked about business, about being in business. So often in business, we're told, don't worry about the politics, right? Don't worry about the politics. But if you don't worry about the politics are going to eat you alive if you allow politicians to dictate your future. And that's what we got going on in Illinois. So I'm Gary Rabine, long A, long I. Not Rabine, not Robinate. I'm not Italian, so it's not Rabini. Rabine. Okay, so my slogan, I got my own slogan, Steve. All right? I'm not using yours this time. Is paving the way to stay. I'm a paving guy all my life, and I want everybody in this room to want to stay here. So when I win, we make the changes I'm going to talk about. Everyone in this room is going to want to stay here. Our kids, our grandkids, our businesses are going to want to stay in this great state of Illinois, okay? You guys okay with that? Yeah. All right, so I got to tell you, building businesses is something I've been very passionate about. For 40 years I've been building businesses. My first one started out of high school, seal coating driveways, paving driveways. That business grew into a commercial parking lot paving company. We became an Illinois paving company. We paved parking lots all over Illinois. Eventually we paved parking lots all over America and became the biggest of what we do. We did this because I was smart enough and lucky enough to find great people that had two things, two character traits. Common sense, and they can't be bought. Every leader in our organization today, every company we have that we run, has a great leader at the helm. And they have those two character traits. Aren't those easy? Common sense? Can't be bought, right? Am I right or not? Wouldn't it be nice in Illinois if we had a little common sense? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we had people that couldn't be bought? Alright? This is what we're going for in Illinois. When I look at what's going on in our state, in business, over the last 40 years, I started out in small business for 20 years. The last 20 years, I've grown my company across the country. I've gotten to know the best leaders in government across the country. As I wanted to grow in other states where I could do business, I found Indiana a pretty good place. They actually wanted me to do business there. I found Florida, Texas, places they wanted me to do business. And when I met these governors through organizations I belong to, I found out that governors and everybody under them had common sense and they could not be bought. When I got to know Mitch Daniels, I found these two character traits. Eventually I joined the Republican Governors Association after being part of Turning Point USA, Job Creators Network. I joined the Republican Governors Association. And Republican Governors Association got to be friends with the best governors I think in the country. We've got a few that aren't the strongest. We've got 10 or 15 that are amazing. How about Ron DeSantis, the way Ron DeSantis leads Florida? How about Kristi Noem and the way she leads her little state up there, huh? These are my friends today, and from these friends, I learned who their advisors are, and I'm going after their advisors. Mitch Daniels hired a little guy that's the best economic mind in our country's history. So I find out about this guy. I hired him when I decided to run. His name is Art Laffer. Ever heard of any Laffer curve? The Laffer curve? That's Art Laffer. He's on my team, and he's on your team. And this same guy, he talked about common sense, can't be bought, doesn't need money anymore, and he makes great decisions for states across America over the last 40 years. He made great decisions for Ronald Reagan, for Margaret Thatcher, Mitch Daniels, Jeb Bush, and many others. He's our guy. He's your guy in Illinois. So my goal is three things. Number one, we're going to create jobs like we haven't in a long time. That's what I know. We've been creating jobs for 40 years. Number two, we're going to crush property taxes. Everybody okay with that? Crushing property taxes. Well, let me hear it. Everybody okay with crushing property taxes? All right, we're going after it hard. My team of experts that I just mentioned have done it before. They've been there before, they've done it before, we're going to do it in Illinois. And lastly, the most important thing today is family culture and family values. If we don't respect our police, if we don't respect our police and our schools, we're not going to have lousy schools, lousy public safety. So we're going after it hard. We're going to take care of this. Our police are going to be honored, not treated like villains. Our schools are going to be taught not from the governor's office and the legislators. Okay with that? That's common sense, right? Bottom line is these things are going to get done in the next few years. It's not going to take long to change the state. When I talk to the best minds in public safety and education, it doesn't take 10 years to turn something around. 6 months, 10 months, a couple of years, and we can make a huge difference. So I want everybody here to understand you're staying in Illinois, okay? I'm going to say my name one more time so you remember how to pronounce it. Rabine. I'm going to say Rabine, and I want you guys all to say, so you remember my slogan, not Steve's, okay? Steve's is a great one, don't get me wrong, right? But remember, you're going to remember my slogan also. So ready? I'm going to say Rabine, you're going to say paving the way to stay, okay? Ready? Rabine! Wait, come on. I didn't hear Jesse or Paul Shep yell this out. They're back in, I want to hear them yell it too. One more time. Rabine! All right, a little better. Thanks a lot, Steve, for having me. I appreciate it. And we're going to take this thing, all right? We're coming back.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, so I don't know if you guys heard the news or not, but the Illinois State Supreme Court shot down the extra tax on ammo and handguns in Illinois. So that should be a good thing. That's just for those ammo people. All right, coming up next, we have Rachel Mitchell from the Will County Board is going to come and speak to us and grace us with her presence.
Raquel!
They say, oh, sorry, Raquel. My bad. Everybody give it up for Raquel Mitchell.
First he had me married, which I'm not. Now he has me a Rachel. Alright, so there's a gentleman in Bolingbrook that used to do this, and I'm going to try it. Let's see if it works. Okay. At first I wasn't afraid. I was petrified. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm not about to sing. Alright, so you guys, listen. I was inspired today by a conversation I had earlier. And in the course of the conversation, it was a very spirited conversation. The person asked me, well, where were you when we had rallies in 2020? I was like, what? Are you asking me what I've been doing the whole year of 2020? Well, let's see. I've been doing plenty in 2020, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. It made me think about how far I've come with Steve Balich. Many of you don't know, Steve is my ex-husband from the old country. We have a son. We have a son. Our son is very smart. You hear him every day on the radio, AM 560, it's Dan Croft. He's our son. Steve and I, it's a long story, but that's just how long our friendship and far back our friendship goes. It goes back, oh my God, 12 years. I am one of what we call 5 hens. Deb, Dawn, Ivana's in here. We have Sharon here. We're all what we call hens, and we've all watched out for one man and some others, Steve Balich. If you thought Steve was a hawk, you haven't met the hens. The hens are worse, far worse. So going back, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about, I'm only gonna take a minute because I know you guys want to get to chit-chatting and hear Steve. But going back 12 years, we have stood shoulder to shoulder. See, I'm not here because I woke up one morning and decided that I'm going to be get involved or anything like that. I've been involved. And I've been with Steve so long and all the rest of the guys way back in the day that I forgot where I lived. I live in Bolingbrook and I hadn't even met the people in Bolingbrook. I knew everybody in Homer and Plainfield and Joliet. We fought side by side for years, for eons. Nothing. You talk about a rally in 2020, that's what jogged my memory. A rally in 2020? We rallied in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. There wasn't a single election that hadn't gone by that we hadn't worked it. Shoulder to shoulder. On the phone with Steve for an hour, and then we always end with a God bless you. God bless you, I love you, Steve. God bless you, I love you, Raquel. Let's go kill some socialists. I don't like no socialists. I knew Steve when he was falling off the stage. We had good times back then. Fighting socialists. Fight doesn't end. I'm on the county board with Steve, so it's wonderful. It's perfection. I remember when Mike Frizzalone said, "Oh my God, I got the female Steve coming out of county board." There's nothing like my Steve Balich, and I want you guys to know that I appreciate him greatly. We all appreciate him greatly. This is a great man here. And don't let the sharp suits and the little accent fool you. He's a little pit bull underneath that mafioso exterior. Just kidding. I love Steve, you guys. And without further ado, I'm going to give you my ex-husband, Steve Balich.
Like walking a tightrope. Mom! Get that? Mom! That's how we started our wars in the good old days. And we won our wars. Now I'm going to do something that you might not know unless you wash your nose. All right, Joe. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. What a moron that guy is! He don't even have to talk to be a moron. He stands there with his hands out. You know, what a dope. And that's the president? I'll tell you what. Fix where we live is a better slogan than the rest of them. And we copyrighted it. In 2019, I told Ruben, we're going to fix where we live. And we always do it. Fix where we live. If we can't fix where you live, you can't fix nothing. That's right. The socialists are coming. And they're nothing but a bunch of pigs that don't realize they're going to get cut apart when the socialists take over if they win. And we can't let that happen. So, where does that leave us? Well, Father Tom, he said something a long time ago, and I always remember this. It's like real important. When you're in a war, which we are, it's Americans versus socialist, communist pigs. So, what do we have to do? One simple thing. We cannot be afraid of nothing. That's right. No fear. God doesn't want us to be afraid.
That's what I'll tell them. Now, I've been the supervisor of Homer Township, and we're fixing where we live. So how does we do that? Well, all the stuff that the socialists are taking away from us, our township board, we're giving it back to the people here, the people where you guys live. Tell them to give your stuff back too. We're going to have a manger. Christina MC from the Illinois Patriots is going to donate it. Then we got Angel and Jim Shea. They're going to do a live nativity scene. Well, what happens with them? The socialists are climbing the wall. They want Kwanzaa. I said, you ain't getting no Kwanzaa. That's the celebration of riots and wars. So we're talking about God and you're talking about riots. Another group that belongs in the negative place with the devil. Now, the next thing that we do, you know, at the county board, we don't believe in abortion, and we don't believe in killing live babies. You know, after abortion fails, you know, the county board, you know, the Democrats think it's okay to just kill the baby because the abortion got screwed up. So we fought against it. So now as township, our board comes along, and we're a sanctuary township for life. But we think that's not all. We're a sanctuary township for guns. And then we applaud on the Homer Township Republicans. We fix where we live. We have Jay Rhodey and his wife Karen, and Angel and Jim Shea, and Christine MC, and Mike MC. They're all fighting at the school districts, protecting our rights from them stupid educators that are all rotten socialists and gotta be told off. So I've been in the township office for 7 months. I'm doing pretty good. I got three complaints by the Attorney General, one by the county health department, and one from Decker County Washington. And what the hell? I'm doing a good job. I'm shaking the pot up, and they can go to how to. Now you're gonna like this one. The guy from the health department calls me up and says, hey, you gotta wear a mask. And I go, I ain't wearing no mask. And he's going, I'm from the health department, you gotta wear a mask. And I go, no, I don't listen to dictators. And the guy goes, it's a law. I said, no, it's not a law. The House didn't vote on it, the Senate didn't vote on it, so I ain't gonna do it. And I ain't gonna make nobody else do it. He says, but you have to, it's a law. So I said, is the sheriff gonna come and arrest me? He says, no. And I said, well, is the state's attorney gonna prosecute me? He says, no. I said, good, next month you'll get more calls then, because I ain't doing it. That's how we fix where we live. We don't take any garbage from anybody, and we stand up for what's right. And if you don't stand up, that means you're a chicken. And you know what? When you die, you go up to the big guy up there, and he says, how come you didn't do what you should have did because you was scared? Now you're really going to be scared to see what you're going to get. You cannot be afraid of nothing ever. Stand up and fight. And we're doing it in Homer, and we're going to do it all over Will County, and we're going to continue doing it, and it's not going to stop, and we're going to go after Democrats and go after in ways that they never dreamed, because we use rules for radicals and Democrats. The same difference they do to us, we do to them. Somebody told me not to get too excited. I didn't mean it, I'm sorry. You believe that one? Well, I'm going to stop for a second and read the names of all the nice people that are supporting us. Now, just think of this. Without the people here, you have a tiny group. When you have a tiny group, you have no power. When you have a big group, you have a lot of power. So they listen to you, and committee. Got Herb Herbine from Mount Greenwood. He's going to run for something. I just don't know what yet. Probably what, Herb? Congress? Probably Congress. George Dunham. He's a trustee at Village of Schaumburg. He's over here. We go back a long time. Back about 2008, 9. The good old days when things weren't so controlled by rotten socialists. Joe Fulci, I can't say the name. Did I say it right, Joe? No? Belushi. My tongue ain't working. Schaumburg Township Committeeman. Now we had Dave Medina. He works with the township at the road district. He's also the clerk for Village of New Lenox. Township, excuse me. Kathy Hilton, she's a trustee for New Lenox Township. Judy O'Gala. Oh. Judy, come on up here. Judy's the person that calls me her girlfriend. And I didn't go to the other side, believe me. I ain't going to the other side. I still, I'm like normal. I get a call 11, 12 at night. Hey, this is your girlfriend. And what happened?
And then we talk for about an hour, and I walk my dog. He's the only person I can call that time of night that's so awake, so. I love having Steve as my girlfriend.
God bless you. And we have Mayor Bob Odenkirk, he had to leave. He's the mayor of Joliet. Rose Render, she's got the best Italian food in Homer Glen. Taza Restaurant. But she's also a Homer Glen trustee. Paul Schimm is candidate for governor. You guys heard him talk. Cece DeMora. Cece is one of these people that are like an inspirational person. She makes you think about God when you're forgetting to think about the big guy. And then when you do that, see, as soon as you forget about thinking about the important stuff, then you suck and you start doing things bad. So Cece, thank you. Vicki Bozen, that's our township clerk. She gets to work alongside of me. Isn't she lucky? I think I'm lucky, not her. Mike Bonomo. Mike is on like all the committees. And Mike is the supervisor pro temp for Homer Township. Mike, you're awesome! Then we got the LTHS PTRO. That's Angel and Jim Shea and Karen and Jay Rhodey. Now they're fighting for our kids' rights in school so they don't have to wear masks and they don't have to get the shot.
And they're awesome!
Then we got Don Davenani, an old friend from like 2008, back in the day of the Tea Party, when we used to kick candy. Every rally, minimum 3,000 people. There was one at 10,000. And guess what? They closed I-80 down, they closed down Archer, they closed down wherever we had a rally, the police had to close it down because they had too many people. And Pat O'Malley's a former senator for this area, he had to leave. And Rocky Osick, Rocky goes all of our county board meetings and lays out the socialist pigs for what they are. God bless Rocky. Tom McCullough, he's running for the 49th Senate District in Plainfield, and he's a good guy. Here's a guy that has a lot of character. He told me he's going to put a fence in for me. I pay him, of course, but he says it's going to be in by a certain day. It ain't in by a certain day. He says it's going to be, and I'm like, it's raining outside. Do it tomorrow. No, told you it's going to be today. So he shows up and does the work of himself because his health didn't show up. That's the kind of guy he is. He says something and he means it and he does it. And that's what we all need to do. You got to be a person of your word. Now you got Debbie Carlitis. All right, Deb. She's the best singer of that song, Malone. Her husband's the one that was the Tea Party with me, and he was on the county board before she was. And we used to give him hell and enjoy every second of it. And he came up with the idea, everybody in this room, if you want to win, you got to engage the system. That means you can't sit on your butt and do nothing. You got to do something to make us win. So if everybody does one more thing than they did the last election, we're going to win. They're not going to be able to stop us. Then we got Jimmy Lausch. That's the road commissioner in Lockport. He does a great job. He's been a good friend for, God, 15 years, 20 years. I can't even keep track. And I don't want to forget Grant Spooner. Grant's been taking video for 20 years. Then we got Annette Parker. She's on the county board with us. You heard her speak. She's a sweetie. She knows how to nicely say you're a jerk. Then we got Judge Art. And Judge Art is having a fundraiser in 2 weeks over here. He's running for a circuit judge, and he's a great guy. Now you got Red Portfolio. That's Mike Umba. He's the road commissioner. And you know what? Having an engineer for a road commissioner is a great thing. You do not make mistakes. The engineer says, no, you don't do it like that. The engineer tells you everything you need to do, and you look like a hero because he knows what he's doing. So, God bless Brent. Now we got Hillary Kranz. I can't say the name. I'm sorry. Hillary Kranzara. I came close. She's a Will County Board candidate. We have Bob Enright, Plainfield Township Collector. And he's representing Plainfield Group, Dale Fontana and the rest of the group. Brian Coleman, I don't know if he's still here. He's a great lawyer out of Shorewood. He's head of Shorewood Republicans. Lisa Caparelli Ruff, she's a Will County, well, she's going to run for Will County Regional Board of Education. And we need somebody in there that's a Republican. Rob Cruz is a congressional candidate for, I'm not sure what district, but it would be the 3rd, but I'm not sure anymore because they keep changing it. You know, socialists are, they want to make sure they win by default. Christina MC, she and her husband run Illinois Patriots, and they're protecting the rights of all our kids. Pat Sheehan's one of our guys that was the first Republican to get elected in God knows how long for the Lockport Township Park Board. And I believe he's going to be running for Senate, but I don't know exactly the number because they keep changing stuff. You got Rob Rivera, he's one of our township trustees that is fixing where we live. Notice how it all comes back to that. Thank you, Rob. Gretchen Fritz, she's another county board member. Look at her. She's dressed up like that hot Riley something or other.
Harley Quinn.
Riley what? Riley Quinn. Harley Quinn. Hey, I don't watch too much, you know. Now we got Dave Lombardo. He's the vice president of the Illinois State Rifle Association. Thank you, Dave. But he's the joker, and he actually tells good jokes. And then we got Devin Jones, Southside Republicans chairman. And he's dressed like a black meat. So if you wonder what a shine looks like, and then look at him, and then say, hey, look at it, you know, we have a code. That word means something different than what you think. All right, then we have Gary Rabine. He's talked to you guys, God bless him. Now we got another guy, Larry Hawk. Very interesting guy. Larry Hawk won city council, and all the Democrats turned their back on him, and the Tea Party guys got behind him, and he won. And he's doing a great job, and he's not a socialist. He's a Democrat. 6 of those young guys, and they all part of the Homer Republican stuff. God bless them. And the last one is, naturally I read them all good, but I can't even read this one. Looks like Martin, and then here. So is that supposed to be a joke, or is that a real name? Or I can't read it. So if you sign in last, I'm sorry because I can't read it. Unless it's a joke. Now we got dinner. I'm going to take that moving. Now everybody here heard a lot of singing, and you hear all the people talking and all this other crap, right? We all got to understand something. If we don't get out and fight like hell and never be afraid and say I don't care, we're not going to win. So everybody in this room goes out and they do one more thing than last time. I said it before and I'm saying it one more time. If you didn't do anything last time, knock on both next door neighbor's door and tell them to go vote. If you did that, do your block, but do something to win again. And we can win.